Are you a nice person? Of course you are. You have no reason not to be. Most people are. What about a sweetheart? Are you a sweetheart? Do people describe you as the biggest sweetheart? This person would do anything for you. They have the biggest heart. Maybe you're a people pleaser. Maybe you have a really difficult time saying no to people and no to doing things for others. Is that you? Well, let's talk about this. I've been pretty fortunate. I really only know nice people. I don't even recall being around someone or having the opinion that someone was not nice. Although it kind of makes sense because we do choose who we surround ourselves with. And if I found someone to be the opposite of nice, then I would probably choose to not surround myself with that person. We already know that like attracts like. So if I'm attracting nice people, then that also tells me that I must be a nice person. I also don't feel that everyone that I meet or all of my loved ones or family or friends need to see through the same lens that I do. They have permission to have a different opinion than me, to have different taste in different things than I do. I'm perfectly okay with that. I would never deem someone not nice if they didn't see through the same lens or have the same taste or like the same things as I do. They don't have to have the same preferences. That's what makes us so unique. And when you're comfortable in your own skin, you typically are okay with that. When you're not comfortable in your own skin, sometimes you get into the power struggle of proving your point, or I know it all, or it's my way or the highway. And you may deem someone or describe someone as not nice. In coaching, I've even heard the word evil. I've had clients describe someone evil. And typically through coaching, we will find out why this person sees this other person as evil. And believe it or not, a lot will come up about the client, not so much about the person who they're claiming to be evil. I have also had the privilege to meet a few sweethearts in my life. I would say 4 to 5 in my entire life that I could say were sweethearts. And we're all going to have a different view of what makes someone a sweetheart. And I'll share that the 4 to 5 people that I have met throughout my life, throughout my almost 50 years, they all had something similar about them. So it would make sense that I saw them as a sweetheart. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that someone else would see them the same way, because we all have our own perception of how we see others, and that's perfectly fine. It's also really important for you to know that, because if you are someone who really wants people to see you as a sweetheart, well, understand you really have no control over that, because while you may think what you're doing would make you a sweetheart, we don't know what other people classify as a sweetheart. That may be why I've only met 4 to 5 in all of my life that I can recall. But again, met many nice people. In fact, I don't recall meeting someone who wasn't nice. I probably have, but clearly I didn't store that in my memory bank. I have no negative energy or wounds around that. For you, it could look very different. Once again, we are all different, and often how we see other people has a lot more to do with us than maybe them. But often we have a hard time seeing that. Today, I want to talk a little bit about people pleasing, which is a big thing, and I do a lot of coaching with what I would call people pleasers. If you work with me, you know what level 4 energy is. A lot of times we will call level 4 energy the people pleaser. This energy is anabolic, meaning these people tend to come from a higher level of energy, maybe looking at the world from a more positive lens versus a catabolic or negative lens. I don't really like to use positive and negative because they are judgment words, but most people watching don't really know what anabolic and catabolic is unless they're working with a coach. With my people pleaser clients, my level 4, What a great place to be. Highly likable people. Definitely, because they have a lot of care and concern for others. But there is a pattern that I often hear with my level 4 people-pleasing clients, and that is they tend to say yes to everything. They have a very difficult time saying no because they do care for others and they have a lot of concern with others. They also are one of the lowest levels of energy to establish boundaries. Therefore, sometimes they feel they've been taken advantage of. They stretch themselves thin. Often, these people will claim that they can't manage their time. There's not enough hours in a day because I'm taking care of this person, and then I have to go here, and then I signed up for this, and the church called, and they need me to make this and donate this and all of this. Wow! Wow, yeah, I can imagine that you are overwhelmed and stressed. It would make complete sense that you would be considering everything on your plate. Often with people pleasers, they don't think before they commit. They will get a call or a text or an email with someone asking something of them. It could even be money, time, money, whatever it may be. And they don't think about, does this work for me? Does this serve me? Does this fit my schedule? Will this impact anyone else in my home? Because they have so much negative energy around the word no. And I'm not saying that's wrong. Wrong would just be a judgment. It always goes back to, does it serve you or does it not serve you? So when I'm working with a heavy people pleaser, someone with a lot of level 4 energy, it's not uncommon to see that mixed with level 1 victim, catabolic, because sometimes the level 4 feels so taken advantage of that behind the care and concern for others is I'm the victim and I'm being taken advantage of. I've heard several times with clients that are taking care of elderly parents, and these clients have siblings, how it all falls on me. I'm doing it all. My siblings aren't contributing at all. They make me do it. They make you. Interesting. Let's explore that. In coaching, we would explore what is making, and let's talk about why this is happening. So sometimes with people pleasing, there's a lot of finger pointing. Again, I'm the victim. Now we go to the lowest of catabolic energy. I'm the victim. They're doing this to me. This is happening to me. I'm stressed and overwhelmed because of someone else or something, a situation. It's never that I said yes to something that I should have said no to, and I'm the one responsible for this, and I'm the one in control of this. Now, I am not saying this is always the case. And again, no right or wrong, good or bad, positive, negative. It's only, is it serving you? So if you're listening today and you're saying, wow, this is a description of my life. This is me to a T. What we do in coaching is try to find out why that is. Now, not all level 4s operate from that lens. I have found with my people pleasers, I kind of have two sides. Both often are claimed to be sweethearts. Makes complete sense. They have so much care and concern for others, of course. How sweet is that? They would give the shirt off their back for you, okay? Yeah, it's easy to be viewed as a sweetheart, and that's great. For many people, that's the goal. We would also explore in coaching, if that were the goal, why? Why is it so important? Why is it not good enough to just be nice? I don't have your answers. In coaching, we would find out what those are. And again, no judgment, no good or bad. It's always saying, is what I'm doing serving me? Do I feel overwhelmed? Do I feel stressed? Do I feel taken advantage of? The other thing with people pleasing is sometimes it can be easy to get dragged into drama because you're not going to say no to it. So if you have a group of friends and one of the friends goes to you and talks about another friend within the circle, she knows you're going to listen. She knows you're going to take that bait and you're going to chime right in. You're reliable in that. Another thing people pleasers share all the time, people come to me with their problems. Yeah, it makes sense they would. It makes sense they would. And often when a client shares this with me, everyone comes to me to help them with their problem. They see this as a positive. And maybe it is. Maybe it is a positive. I can't tell you it's not. All I can say is it makes sense based off of what you shared with me that people would go to you with their problems. Yeah? Because you're not going to say no to it. You're going to buy right in, and this could consume some of you. It could take your time. It could take your energy. It could stress you or overwhelm you because you're saying yes to their dilemma, their problem, when you're trying to do something with your husband or your kids, but you can't say no to this because fear of not being liked. Fear of not being liked. If I don't say yes to this, this person may not like me. And I can't handle that. This person may not accept me. They may not see my worth or my value or see that I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, I'm competent, I'm capable. If I say no, I'm not competent, then I'm not capable. I can't do that. Well, we've talked about the gremlin. That inner voice that's not there to hurt you, but there to protect you, to stay small, play safe, stay with me. Don't do that. Don't step out there and do that. But with that gremlin comes all the negative voices from the past. I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. I'm not smart. I'm not competent. I'm not capable. They won't like me. So when someone asks you to do something and it doesn't really align with your goals or maybe your time or your dollar, and you say yes to that, there's a lot of fear sometimes behind that because the fear of not being accepted and being liked is really nudging and driving those yeses. And I'm only here today to share this with you so you understand it. Because when I am working with a client that is a heavy people pleaser, there comes a really strong gremlin attached to that. And it comes away from your past. And I'll even explore some things about the parents. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing. And I listen. I listen with intent. I ask open-ended questions to get the client talking. And what I often find out is even in the home, even with great parents who meant well, there was expectations that maybe they couldn't meet, or maybe one of the parents was a little bit crabby or temperamental or was always in a bad mood. And so you read that as a child, like, I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. If they're not happy and they're in a good mood, then I'm not good enough. And we carry all of these messages with us into our adult life, which is fine. It's knowing they're there and are they serving me? Are in the choices that I make, the yeses that I say, are they serving me? I know some of you are watching and shaking your head. Probably some of my clients would be. So if you are the sweetheart, love that, love that. You have care and concern for others. It makes complete sense that you would be viewed that way. You would give anything for everyone, right? It's a great place to be. But it's just asking yourself, am I a sweetheart genuinely, or is there really something hidden behind this where I have fear of not being accepted and liked? Maybe you have, if someone texts you or if someone comments on like a social media post and you feel guilty if you don't get right back to them, oh my, it's fear. You're terrified. That's fear. Yeah. You're afraid of what that person on the other side is going to think of you if you don't respond like that. Yeah, no boundaries. No boundaries. It's not uncommon for an extreme people pleaser to wind up into a very codependent relationship, sometimes with a narcissist. Narcissists love people pleasers because people pleasers will stop everything for them And they'll also take the blame. So when the narcissist tries to manipulate the codependent, the people pleaser, into how what I did is because of you. This wouldn't have happened if it weren't for you, or you do this. You somehow caused it. Narcissists taking no responsibility for themselves. Yeah. Because they know the people pleaser will. So a narcissist can sniff you out. They can sniff you out because it shows. You can't hide your people-pleasing tendency. And again, I'm not demonizing people pleasers. Believe me, I'm married to a people pleaser, but he also has a lot of level 5 energy. So he's a level 4, level 5, completely different dynamic. Very much a boundary setter. Not a strong gremlin, okay? But not always the case. Do an ELI assessment and 2-hour debrief with me if you want to find how you show up with your energy and your attitude when you're not under stress and when you are under stress. But one of the things, after years of doing the ELI assessment, if I see like a level 1 or a level 4, level 1, and high level 4, I often can pinpoint heavy gremlin here, heavy gremlin, often something from the past. Sometimes a parent that wasn't present, maybe a father that wasn't part of the upbringing, maybe left. Sometimes we find that every situation is different. It's not a one size fits all. And again, no good or bad, so don't judge it. This is just if you're identifying with what I'm sharing today, where you can't say no. Perfect example. Let's say a person has a business where they service others. It could be hairstylist, nail tech, massage therapist, something where they service clients in that way. Client texts you, says, "Can you get me in tonight at 5?" You automatically say, "Sure, no problem." But then you're mad about it after the fact. You're mad about it after the fact because it doesn't work for your schedule. Now you're staying over. Now you're taking time from your spouse and your children if you have them. But you said yes to it. And then you may feel taken advantage by that client, and they may continue to do that all the time and text you last minute, "Can you get me in on a dime? Let's go, let's go, let's go." And you're like, "Yeah, no problem." And then as soon as you're done, you're mad about it. You feel taken advantage of. Fear. Fear. Fear of not being liked. Fear of not being accepted. And this is your gremlin. So today's message is just about you identifying if you can relate to this and understanding where it's coming from. Because if you want to start to shift and establish healthy boundaries with loved ones or people in your professional life, colleagues, clients, whatever it is, if you want to learn to establish healthy boundaries, if your tendency is the people pleaser on a high level because of the fear, you have to identify, what am I afraid of? How could I look at this differently? Sometimes with my clients, I'll say, okay, let's reverse this. And you're the person texting the nail tech, seeing if you can get in. And the nail tech says, "I'm so sorry. I'm going to be done working for the day by that time." Do you no longer like your nail tech? No, it's no big deal. Right. So it's your gremlin, that negative inner voice. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. You're not lovable. You're not capable. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not thin enough. Anything that could potentially be going on for you is dictating and determining how you show up with others. And if you're having a hard time saying no and you can't establish those healthy boundaries, or you find yourself dragged into drama, or you find that you're surrounded by people that aren't nice, well, makes sense. You can't say no to them because you're saying yes to everyone. If you have negativity in your life, you're saying yes to it. Why? Because you're afraid? Okay, it's all right. Now that we got it out on the table, it's okay. Let's work with that. Is it serving you? No, Tracy, it's not. Great. Let's work on this. Okay? It's okay. We know where you're at, And now we can shift. All right. Comments? Any suggestions for upcoming videos? Leave it all down in the comment section. Powerful. Don't forget to watch my video, Take Charge of Your Life. Who's driving your bus? Could be the gremlin. And it would make complete sense that you're not saying no to people and responsibilities. Well, responsibility, I guess you'd have to maybe say yes to, but depends. Maybe it should be a shared load, but you're not saying no to it. Not saying no to people. Fear. Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining me, and you know where you'll see me next. Check out the library in the description box below. Lots of videos pertaining to today's topic. Get signed up for an ELI assessment, 2-hour debrief. Let's get working together. Be happy to help.